Hello, and welcome back to another video. This one will not be on anything Discord.py related. It'll be more on SQLite and how to manipulate an SQL database in Python. So, to get started, you won't need to use pip to install anything. You're just going to be importing two things that comes with Python 3. So you're going to be importing SQLite 3, and then you're going to be importing OS. Then the first thing we need to do is make a connection to the database, right? So we're just going to use OS here. We're going to do dir equals os.path dot dir name underscore underscore file underscore underscore, right? So this will set dir to be the path to this directory that your Python code is in, right? And then what we'll do is we'll do db for database as a variable, and then we'll do SQLite3 dot connect, and then we'll do os dot path dot join, and we'll join the dir and the name of our database, right? So we'll do test db for right now, and then we'll do .db. So this is going to be a file, so it's going to test db.db. So the db is going to be the database extension, essentially. Alrighty, and then we'll do SQL equals db.cursor. So we'll make SQL our cursor to do certain things inside of the database, right? So this is basic setting up the database, making the connection, and then setting up variables for us to use to manipulate it, right? This video is basically just going to be basic stuff in this series of videos about SQL and Python manipulation. The reason I am doing these videos is because I do use databases to manipulate and allow the Discord.py bot to play music in multiple servers using only one bot. So yep, this will make a good connection, and if you don't have to make this file inside of this directory, as if it does this and doesn't see that this file is there, it'll just make it. So right now this code can be ran, so we will run it. Let's run it. As you can see, we ran it and it's done. And then you can see here there's a file, testdb.db, right? So now that's pretty much simple, and we can't really do anything with that right now, but as we go here we will do this. So say our friend is a farmer and he wants us to create a program that'll help him keep track of his animals, right? He intakes a lot of animals. So we'll create a Python program that will keep track of the amount of animals he has, right? Using a database. So the first thing we want to do is do SQL.execute, and this will do SQL is this right here, and this is our cursor, so we can execute some SQL like command. So that's what basically you'll be doing in this. We'll be executing SQL commands. Alrighty, and then the first command we want to do is we'll do create table if not exists, right? So this will look for a table in your database, and if it doesn't exist, it'll create it. So then we want to do a space here, and then we will do animal underscore list. So if in this command, it'll look through our whole database and go, is there a table by the name of animal list? And if there isn't, it'll create it. Now we have to enter some columns in here in the column settings. So this tutorial and we'll be using DB browser. I will leave a link to download this in the description. It is a simple download and install, nothing too hard. So we'll use this to kind of look into our database as we kind of manipulate it. So as you can see, there's no database here that we're looking into. So let's go and right click on this, and then we'll do copy path. Go into here, we'll do open database. Alrighty. And then you would want to copy and paste that into here, get rid of that, and then hit enter. We're already there though, so you just open it up. Here we go, we're in our database. As you can see, we have 0 of anything. Can't browse anything because we have no tables. We can create a table. So then what we'll do here is we'll just create a table, and we'll just do animal underscore list. Right? And as you can see down here, it kind of creates the command for us, right, that we're going to be entering. So we're not going to be actually creating this table. We're going to be kind of just using the command it makes for us to kind of put it into our Python. So we'll just do animal list. That'll be the name of our table. We'll add a field. We'll do num, or no, we'll do ID for the animal ID, right? This will be an integer. You've got a bunch of here. You got integer, text, blob, real, numeric. Most of these are just like numbers and stuff like that. But we'll be basically just using integer and text in this tutorial for now. So we'll just do integer. And then there's an option for not null. So that means the ID cannot be nothing, right? So it has to have something. So we'll put not null. And then we'll do primary key. Primary key, and there's something else called foreign key. Are more in-depth kind of SQL and database manipulation things, but that pretty much means that it's the ID for that row essentially, right? So we'll just do that, and the way primary key works is there cannot be two primary keys that are the same. So all primary keys have to be different. So we'll just make it the primary key. And then auto increment means that it'll start at 1 and go to 2, 3, and 4 as rows get added without you doing anything. So we'll do that, and then we'll just make it unique just for the hell of it, right? So we'll just add another field, and we'll do animal underscore name. Make that an underscore, right? Now, an animal name usually isn't integer or a number, so we'll just do text for this one, and then we'll make that not null because all animals have to have a name, right? And then we'll keep all those unchecked. Then we'll do an add field, and we'll do animal underscore amount. Alright, so this is the amount of this animal, right? So we'll do integer, and this can be null because if we have an animal, we just don't have any, it can be null. So here's our command, right? So we have create table. So this is a little different from our command in here. Because they're just creating the table animal list. We're creating it if it doesn't exist, right? But anyway, so what we want to do is just insert this stuff in there, right? So we'll just come over into here. We'll do what we want here. We'll do ID. So that's our first column, and we'll do integer. And we'll do not null. We'll do primary key. And then we'll do auto increment. And then we'll do unique. That's right. Unique, right? So that means that this column ID that we're making is an integer. It's not null. It's the primary key. It auto increments, and it's unique. Alrighty. Then we want to do comma space. Then we'll do animal name underscore name, right? And then we'll do, this is a text, so we'll do text, and it can't be null, not null, comma, space, and we'll do animal underscore amount, and this is going to be an integer, right? And nothing else. So what we're basically doing here for our first table is creating the table, creating it if it doesn't exist. So we're creating the animal list. We're creating it with 3 columns. We're creating the ID column, the animal name, and the animal amount. Right? And the ID column is an integer. The animal name is a text. The animal amount is an integer. Then the ID cannot be null, as well as the animal name cannot be null. And then the ID is a primary key, it auto increments, and it's unique. So now, as you can see, if we come back here, we'll just hit cancel on this. And then we'll open it up just to refresh it. Open. As you can see, we have 0 tables, right? So now let's come down here and we'll run this code again. And you can see it ran. We come over here. We'll open it up to refresh it. And we have 2 tables. So this is an SQL sequence. This is just stuff that SQL does. You don't have to worry about that. And then this is our table. So we created an animal list. And if we drop it down, you'll see our 3 columns. And then if you scroll over a little bit, you'll see it's an integer, text, integer. Not null, primary key, not null, stuff like that, right? Right there. So then we can even go into and browse the data. And as you can see, we're on the table animal list, ID, animal name, animal amount. And there's nothing in here. Because we haven't really added anything. We can add a new record and stuff and fill it in, but we do not want to do that, right? Okay, so now, what do we want to do? Our farmer friend has told us that he always has 10 cows, right? So, what we basically want to do is we want to do SQL.execute, insert into animal underscore list, or insert an animal name, and an animal amount. All right. So what we're doing here is our farmer friend told us that no matter what happens, he always has 10 cows. So we'll just basically default make the table that we're making with 10 cows in it always, right? So after that, we'll do values because we have to pass in values. And then question mark, comma, question mark. So this is basically saying that we need to insert into the animal list table that we just created. We need to insert 2 basically variables. We need to insert into these 2 columns, right? We need to insert the animal name column and the animal amount. And then we're saying values. We don't know yet, but we're going to pass them in. So we're going to go question mark, question mark. Now we actually do know these values, so we're just going to do comma, space, and then 2 parentheses. And we're going to do cow, comma, 10, right? So we have to pass into SQL tuples, right? That's what the parentheses are. So we're passing into a cow and a 10 tuple here. So that's the values, right? So this first value is the animal name, and the second value is the animal amount. So animal name, animal amount. Alrighty. So now, if you run this code, which we're not going to do right now, you'll notice that it doesn't do anything. That's because you need a db.commit down here, because this is basically like a save function. So we're inserting this into it, and then we're going to save it and write it to the database, essentially, right? So now, go over here. Let's just go here, and we'll delete this table. Yes. Write changes. You want to write changes whenever you do something over here. So over here, it works. You'll get errors if you don't save and do stuff. But we'll run it. All right, it ran. Come over here. Let's open it up again to refresh it. We have an animal list. Browse data. We have the ID of 1, cow 10, right? So there we go. So now, let me show you a flaw in this code, right? So now, all right, we have our list. The farmer goes, all right, well, I need to run my code again. All right, so he runs his code again. We'll come over here. We'll browse data. Oh, no. We have 2 cows, 2 10s, right? So what we want to do is we'll delete one of these and write the change first off, all right? What we want to do is kind of, after we do the create table if it exists, right, we want to SQL.execute. We want to select from the table. We want to select animal name underscore name from animal underscore list, where animal underscore name equals cow. Right? So what we're doing is we're going to select from the animal name column in from the animal list table where animal name equals cow. So we're going to select where it equals cow, right? Then we're going to do a SQL dot, or we're going to do is cow. So we're basically is underscore cow equals. So we're going to set this variable to as an SQL dot fetch 1, right? Because we're going to get this output. So it's going to select and we're going to get the output, right? So is cow is now the output of this select statement, right? And it'll come out as a tuple, or if there's nothing there, it'll come out as just none. So we'll just print, right? Print this as is cow, right? So remember, this comes out as a tuple if there is something in there. So let's just run this code, see what happens. So as you can see in our database, we do have a cow. So it'll come out as cow. We do have a cow. So what you want to do is use your indexes and we want to get the first object, right? So we'll run this again. As you can see, it prints out cow normally. Now for this print statement and testing purposes, we're not going to do that because we want to see whenever it says none, right? So what we're going to do is come over to our database and we'll just refresh here. As you can see, we have 3 cows because we ran it, but we're just going to delete the whole table. Come over here. We're going to make an if statement. So we're going to do if is cow is none, do this. All right, we'll do this code here. Else if is cow equals cow, right? Now don't forget to put an index here, as I almost did. Index 0, because it's the first. Index always start with 0, so 0, 1. So is cow the index the first option? So if it equals cow, print into the console already added default animal, right? So if it's already in there, it'll just already add it'll print out already added the default animal. So as you can see, if we refresh our database here, we'll refresh it again, there is no table, right? So we'll come over here and we'll run it. It says none. As you can see, we printed is cow, so none. There wasn't a cow in there. So it did this, right? So we can see this by if we come over here and open our database again, we have a table. We browse the data and it has a cow in there, right? So now if we come over here and we run it again, you can see that it prints out that we have a cow in there because it prints out a tuple and then it prints out already added default animal. And then we come over here, we refresh this, and we only have one, so we haven't added a duplicate, right? So we don't. This is very basic. This is extremely basic. Our farmer friend is like, I need to add animals, right? So what we'll do is we'll just do a run variable, and we'll do equals true, and then we'll do a while statement, while run. We'll do s, and then we'll do table underscore name equals input. We have to get an input from the user. We'll do what animal would you like to add? Right. So we're going to ask our farmer friend what animal he would like to add. And then whenever he answers that, we'll do table underscore amount equals input how many. We'll do an F string here, so how many, and put our table name. How many would you like to add? So table name, so we're going to get the name of the animal, and we're going to do the name or the amount of said animal. So now we'll ask the user to add a name. So what animal would you like? And then add the amount, right? And then after that, we'll do SQL execute We'll do insert, an insert statement like above, insert into animal underscore list, where animal underscore name and animal underscore amount, and then values question mark comma question mark, right? And remember, we have to input tuples, so we have to input table name comma table amount, right? So what we're doing is we're inserting into the animal list an animal name and an animal amount, and then we're putting the value of the animal name and animal amount as unknown, and then we're going to pass in what the user inputted, right? So table name is the animal name, and we're inputting the table name. Table amount, inputting the amount of the animal, right? Now remember, we have to do a db.commit here. Oh, there we go. So anytime you insert into the table or delete from the table, you have to do a db commit, right? Because it's a save. So now this is basically it. So we'll run it. As you can see down here, it prints out, oh, we already have a cow already added. So it was like, what would you like to add? So say if we just imported some pigs, right? Or got some pigs. Our farmer friend got pigs, whatever. So we do pig, and how many pig would you like to add? So we'll do 300 because we just got a large shipment of pigs. We'll do that. So then it'll just keep going through this while loop. This is pretty rough, but it'll just do that, right? So we'll just end this. But if we come back over here to our database and we refresh it, you now have a cow and 300 pigs. So now, if we come over here, we can see this in action. So we'll delete this, right? We'll write changes, and then we will run it again, right? So it says none, and it says, what animal would you like to add? So we'll do, all right, we just got the pig shipment, right? 300. And then, what's another farm animal? Sheep, right? We just got 4,000 sheep, right? But so yeah, then we can come over here. As you can see, there's no table, so we'll just refresh the database here. Now we have an animal list table. We browse, so now we have a cow, a pig, and sheep. 1, 2, and 3, right? So this is our auto incrementing ID. This is the name of our animal, and how many we have. We have 10 cows, 300 pigs, and 4,000 sheep, right? So this will conclude our basic SQL to Python tutorial. Hopefully this helped you in any way. I will be doing more parts to this. I will be expanding on this, and then hopefully after I kind of get the basics down, we can expand it into our discord.py. So I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. If you need any help with this or discord.py, or would like to just stop by and say hi, make sure to join the Discord, link in the description. The code for this will be available download in the description, and a link to download DB browser will be in the description. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.